Ladies and gentlemen, federal employees, this video is all about how you can not lose your FEHB into retirement, your health insurance, when you retire as a federal employee, because FEHB is one of the best benefits you enjoy. Because if you didn't know already, the government actually picks up and pays about 70 to 75% of the cost of your health insurance, right? So if you pay, let's say $300, $400, the government is paying 3 to 4 times that, depending on the plan and your agency and things like that. So keep that in mind. And to replace it by yourself, it would cost a lot, right? So it is so crucial to keep into retirement for a solid plan. So let's dive right in. There are a few requirements. Not every federal employee can keep their health insurance just because they're a federal employee, right? You have to meet the eligibility to keep it. Number one is you have to retire with what they call an immediate retirement. And what an immediate retirement is there's a few different criteria that you have to hit at least one of them, okay? Number one, hit your MRA, your minimum retirement age, with at least 30 years. If you don't know what your MRA is, if you just Google MRA chart, you can find your birthday and it'll show you your MRA. So you have to hit your MRA with at least 30 years, or if you don't hit that, be at least 60 with 20 years. If you don't hit that, age 62 with 5 years. Now, if you hit your MRA and you have at least 10 years, you can keep your FEHB in retirement. However, your pension will suffer a reduction. I've got tons of other videos on the MRA plus 10 retirement, which you could find the details there. So that's first. You have to have an immediate retirement, a full-blown immediate retirement. Now, the other requirement that you have to have is first, you got to be covered under FEHB for the 5 years before retirement. So what does that mean? That means you can change plans. You can change from Blue Cross Basic to Aetna to whatever. You can change plans during that time as long as you have continuous coverage under a FEHB plan for the 5 years, continuous coverage for the 5 years before you retire. Now, there's some nuance here. One of the nuances is TRICARE. What if you're a veteran, a military retiree? Maybe you're covered under TRICARE and FEHB. Well, the one nuance there, as long as you have been covered under TRICARE continuously for the 5 years before retirement, you can keep FEHB into retirement as long as you're in FEHB when you retire. So again, for you veteran folks, as long as you had TRICARE for the 5 years before retirement and you had FEHB right before you retired, then you can keep FEHB into retirement. That's number one. Number two, what if you are married to another federal employee? How does it work then? So as long as, again, you're covered under an FEHB plan, it doesn't matter whether it's under you as the employee, under your spouse as the federal employee, it doesn't matter. As long as you're covered under an FEHB plan for the 5 years before retirement and you're eligible for an immediate retirement, then boom, you're good to go. You can keep it into retirement. Now, one last thing I want to mention here is one of the biggest things is, you want to make sure you can keep your health insurance into retirement, but you want to make sure your spouse can stay on your health insurance for the rest of their life as well. Because if it's important for you, it's probably important for them as well. Now, again, if you and your spouse are federal employees, then maybe you won't have to do this, but we'll talk through that a little bit here. Long story short, for your spouse to stay on FEHB after you pass away, assuming you pass away first, which may not happen, but assuming you do, you have to elect a survivor benefit on your pension. Now, you may not know about the survivor benefit options, but there's 3. I'll break them down simply for you here. Number one, you can do the full survivor benefit. What that means is while you're both living, you take a 10% hit to your pension, but when you pass away, they get 50% of your gross pension. With that option, they can stay on your health insurance if you pass away first. Option number 2, you can take a partial survivor benefit, which is 5% of your pension that goes away while you're both while you're both alive, right? If you pass first, they get 25% of your pension. Now, the last option is the 0 option. Basically, it doesn't cost you anything, but your spouse gets nothing and cannot stay on your health insurance if you were to pass away first. So those are the criteria. Again, we talked about what you have to do while you're working to make sure you can keep it into retirement, and then the survivor benefits that you have to elect to make sure that your spouse can keep it beyond you. That is crucial. So I hope that was helpful. Again, if you need more help, if you have more questions, there's a bunch of links when it comes to submitting questions, finding books on my TSP and other benefits or other videos on the YouTube channel. There's tons of great resources in the description below and on our website, hawsfederaladvisors.com. So definitely check those out. You guys have an incredible rest of your day. We'll see you guys next time.